Oh, look at that. Another year almost gone, and Doors of Stone, the third book in Patrick Rothfuss's King Killer Chronicle series, still doesn't exist. Not only that, but Paddy Boom Baddy has switched from taking George R. R. Martin's well-trodden path of simply making endless excuses to straight up scamming fans. Now, when I analysed the Song of Ice and Fire situation, I came to a pretty clear conclusion. The Rothfuss affair isn't so clear-cut, and we have some serious questions to unravel. Why is Paddy refusing to write? Is there any merit to the Ghostwriter theory? Will we ever get Doors of Stone? And most importantly, is Patrick Rothfuss an evil fan scamming wizard? Well, that's an easy one.
No fluff writing advice. Cut the fluff!
When Patrick Rothfuss released The Name of the Wind in 2007, he stated that the entire trilogy had already been written as a single story, and he just needed to rework it into separate novels. Simple stuff and great news. It seems like the hard part's already done, right? Apparently not. To be fair, the second book in the series, The Wise Man's Fear, was released within the reasonable time frame of 4 years. I mean, 4 years is a long time to publish a book that's allegedly already written, but it is still reasonable. I mean, plenty of bands only release an album every 4 years or so, while in that same time, Stephen King writes, 500,000 word novels? His secret? Funnily, George R. R. Martin, another notorious fan disappointer, asked him this exact question.
How the f do you write so many books so fast?
The way that I work, I try to get out there and I try to get 6 pages a day.
So yeah, Stephen King's secret to finishing books is sitting down and writing them. Whoa, powerful revelation. Someone should pass on this overpowered life hack to Patrick Rothfuss. He might not know how it's done. After the release of The Wise Man's Fear, the years dragged on, and Paddy still hadn't produced the third and supposedly final, already written book of his King Killer Chronicle. So, where'd it go? I will get into the theories and some pretty wild conspiracy theories about why Rothfuss isn't finishing his series, but first, let's discuss the time he swindled fans out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, like an evil wizard. In 2021, a full decade after the release of The Wise Man's Fear, Rothfuss promised fans 3 things if they donated a certain amount of money to his charity. 1, he would share the prologue of Doors of Stone on his live stream. Whoa, so a prologue actually exists? That's promising. 2, share a full chapter of Doors of Stone. Wait, there's actually a complete chapter? Are there more chapters? Is the book fully written like he said it was all those years ago? This is great news. 3, some BS no one cares about. When fans reached the target, smashing expectations, likely much to Paddy's distress, what did he do? Naturally, he took the money, didn't provide the goods, and as of the end of 2025, he still hasn't. Oh, but in 2023, when asked about his grand swindle, grand heist, he had this to say.
I feel bad.
If you watch the whole video, it's a smorgasbord of excuses from life got hard to I've started re-editing that chapter and I can't release it until it's done. If that's all that's holding him back, why the fuck has the re-edit of a single chapter taken another 2 years and still counting? Something tells me Paddy Too Chatty might not be an honest man. Scamming fans, the exact behaviour of an evil wizard. Some observant fans uncovered some more evil wizard behaviour unrelated to his books. Before we get into that one, let's answer the question, why isn't Rothfuss writing? Well, there could be a few reasons, some not super compelling, others are proper conspiracy theories. Whether you believe them or not, we can't pretend they don't exist. Look, reason 1 could be that Rothfuss has what you could call writer's block. He may have tied himself in too many plot knots and doesn't know how to untangle himself. With that said, his series isn't super complex. It's not like he's dealing with a complicated plot with 50 viewpoint characters. If he wrote the first 2 books, if he did, we'll get to that conspiracy theory soon, he should be capable of penning the third. Ironically, Rothfuss himself has implied that writer's block doesn't exist, and this was in 2008 after many years of not writing Doors of Stone.
Sometimes writing is super hard, just like any other job. And or if it's not your job, sometimes it's hard to do a thing, even if it is your hobby. But no plumber ever gets to like call into work and they're like, Jake, I have plumber's block, you know? Like, what would your boss say? I have teacher's block. I have accounting block. They would say, you are fired. You have problems and you are fired.
I know there's extra pressure when it comes to concluding a series, and it could be self-doubt or perfectionism that's paralysed Paddy. If we consider Occam's razor, the simplest answer is likely true, then this somewhat boring explanation is probably right. He's struggling with some sort of mental health issue that's stopping him from writing and releasing the book, but there are more exciting theories out there than that. One unproven theory is that Rothfuss used a ghostwriter to write the first two books. Maybe he came up with the characters, setting, and overall story, and someone else put it on paper. It happens all the time, more so in non-fiction. I am a ghostwriter. I literally write things for people to slap their own name on every day. Now, if this theory were true, why wouldn't Rothfuss just use the ghostwriter again? Plenty of reasons could have forced an arrangement like that to come to an end. Maybe the ghostwriter retired, passed away, was no longer interested in the job. There could have been a falling out. Any of these explanations are plausible if a ghostwriter was involved. If we entertain the idea that Paddy used a ghostwriter for the first two books and the arrangement ended for whatever reason, we then have to ask, why not just hire another ghostwriter who can mimic the earlier prose? Easy solution, yeah, unless you're now super famous in the fantasy world and the moment you start courting ghostwriters, it'll hit the news for sure. Of course, as ghostwriters, we don't go around yelling about whose books we're secretly writing or secretly wrote, but for someone so prominently in the public eye and who people are already suspicious of, it could be risky to start exploring or re-exploring that path. The real solution, if he did hire a ghostwriter, he should just say so and then he can openly hire another one. But Patrick Rothfuss gives off too many evil wizard vibes, and admitting to any initial dishonesty would be out of character. He's more about stacking lies upon more lies than admitting to any mistruths, so whatever the real truth is, we'll probably never know. Now, there is a pretty wild alternate version of the ghostwriter theory which says Pat's dad Jim actually wrote the books, with a bit of help from his son, of course. If that were the case, why wouldn't Papa Rothfuss keep writing? Well, it seems he passed away in 2017. I mean, it's an interesting theory, but I'm not sure it holds much weight, and I haven't found a slither of proof to support it. Paddy had already been reliably not writing for 6 years when his dad passed. So, I don't know, maybe all the excuses we heard from Pat were actually coming from his dad, the true man behind the typewriter. Whoever really wrote the King Killer Chronicle, or what there is of it, only one evil wizard scammed fans out of a bunch of money for charity, a sin for which he must atone. Before I answer the burning question, will we ever get Doors of Stone? Let's dive into one more example of Rothfuss's evil wizard behaviour. And yes, if it isn't clear, I do believe that Patrick Rothfuss is an evil wizard. Because in 2024, Rothfuss's company, Elladen Enterprises, posted a job listing for the role of a writer's personal assistant. Great, with a personal assistant, maybe Paddy will get some words on the page. What exactly is a writer's personal assistant expected to do? Well, schedule haircuts? Okay, fair, but have you seen Patrick Rothfuss? He doesn't look like a man who regularly schedules haircuts. I don't think that's a real task. But the others... Is he serious? Light cooking? That sounds like a personal chef, not a personal assistant. Schedule and implement exercise regimen. That's a personal trainer. Gardening and yard work as needed. What? Service, wash, gas cars. Wait, this guy won't even pump his own gas? Is it good old-fashioned laziness that's stopping this guy from writing? Oh, I'm not even getting into this section. Under kids and personal, he basically wants the assistant to parent his children. Okay, I'll admit, I don't fully know what's expected of a personal assistant, but that sounds like a lot. At least the pay would be pretty good, yeah? Alright, let's take a look. Only $18 to $20 per hour for the widest skill set ever requested. Evil wizard! Okay, I'm almost done talking about this fan scamming, penny pinching cockwomble. The big question, will we ever get Doors of Stone? I know, we should ask Brandon Sanderson what he thinks.
I'm confident we will. I know Pat. No one wants that book to get done more than him.
Oh, it sounds like Sando might be under Paddy's should have been a plumber's evil wizard spell. All right, real answer. In my experience, there's a certain type of person who, once they reach a higher level of success and wealth, they're no longer interested in doing the type of hard work that got them that success. They just want to sit back, enjoy it, and cruise for the rest of their lives. Considering the wild list of tasks Rothfuss expects a personal assistant to do, I suspect, among other things, he's one of those people. In other professions, it wouldn't be such a big deal. You can just retire early and enjoy your wealth. The problem with Paddy's situation is he promised fans one more book, but he clearly doesn't care about disappointing fans. Not enough to motivate him to finish the series anyway. I guarantee that if he were dead broke, he wouldn't start a new career as a plumber to pay the bills. He'd sit down and he would write Doors of Stone. So I don't think we'll get Doors of Stone until Rothfuss gets so uncomfortable he feels like he has no choice but to write it. Considering people keep giving him money for reasons beyond my comprehension, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Will we ever get Doors of Stone? Probably not. Why? Because based on the evidence, I think Patrick Rothfuss is just lazy. I mean, he supposedly outsourced his entire life, including parenting, to a grossly underpaid personal assistant, and he still hasn't produced the goods. We're dealing with a classic case of lazy bones here, people. The cure? Take his money away so he's forced to write again. Just saying. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. If you didn't enjoy this video, hit subscribe anyway, and hate watch my content. That's always fun.